The connection between an animal and a human can hold great strength, yet it can be risky to depend on such a bond solely for safety. An instance involves a man who saved a lion cub. However, their reunion after 7 years led to an astonishing turn of events. Despite the inherent danger associated with fully grown lions, their undeniable cuteness as adorable cubs can be compelling during the early stages of life. It's easy to be tempted into cuddling with these tiny felines, which is the exact situation confronting a man named Adolfo. As an animal trainer, Adolfo encountered a dire circumstance involving a diminutive cub in a terrible state. Recognizing the situation's urgency, Adolfo took action to secure the cub's safety. Without his intervention, the cub's chances of survival seemed bleak, with only a few more days remaining. Thus, Adolfo became the cub's savior, transporting her to a sanctuary for wild animals. In this nurturing environment, he provided the attention, affection, and training required by this tiny bundle of fur. He named her Kiera, drawing inspiration from the Lion King. Yet, the name held more profound significance for Adolfo, embodying notions of God's precious light and brightness across various languages. Kiera had become the beacon of light and positivity in Adolfo's life. He referred to himself as her adoptive father, who wholeheartedly assumed the role, tending to her needs with the devotion of a caring parent. His days were filled with love, cuddles, playtime, and ensuring her well-being, reflecting the kind of care a doting parent would bestow. However, Kiera was no ordinary kitten destined to be a house cat. Her growth showed that the resources at the wild animal sanctuary were insufficient for her needs. Adolfo faced a crucial decision regarding the future of his cherished lioness daughter. Initially, her sole desire was to bask in his affection and care, but she underwent a rapid and substantial transformation, evolving into a massive, fully grown lioness. Adolfo made valiant efforts to provide comprehensive care for Kiera, yet, evolving laws introduced challenges to keeping her. Matters escalated when Kiera began exhibiting her hunting instincts by approaching other animals in the sanctuary. This behavior underscored a stark reality. The sanctuary could no longer accommodate her. The situation became clear. Kiera's presence was no longer tenable within the confines of the sanctuary. Unaware of her inherent instincts and latent power, Kiera's continued presence among the other animals became untenable. Adolfo faced the imperative of ensuring all creatures' safety while crafting a future for Kiera that would enable her to embrace her true lion nature and find happiness. Despite her lingering affection for cuddles with Adolfo, her potential threat to both humans and fellow animals began to manifest. Adolfo was compelled to plan strategically for their next steps, as the situation demanded action. While some advocated for Kiera's return to the wild, this option proved unviable. Her inability to hunt independently and the critical need for familial support within lion pride rendered life in the African wilderness implausible. Regrettably, releasing her into the wild wasn't feasible. Consequently, the next most viable course of action emerged, seeking refuge for Kiera in an environment where caretakers were well-versed in caring for large felines and attuned to their distinct needs. This led Adolfo to the Black Jaguar White Tiger Foundation in Mexico City. The foundation offered a promising setting for Kiera to reside and flourish, dedicated as it was to the welfare and needs of large cats. However, beneath this positive prospect, a significant drawback loomed. Kiera would live a considerable distance away from Adolfo. Frequent visits were impossible, and the poignant reality emerged that his adoptive daughter might gradually forget him, forging new connections in her new surroundings. Wrestling with profound emotions, Adolfo confronted the heart-wrenching decision to release her into a new life. Kiera embarked on her journey to the foundation, where she eventually acclimated to her fresh environment. Initially, a veil of sadness and despair shrouded her, but as time passed, She found solace in a newfound family and reclaimed her former vitality. It appeared that Kiera had moved on, leaving behind memories of her adopted father. Yet Adolfo's enduring attachment to the lioness he nurtured remained steadfast. Despite his yearning to reunite, numerous obstacles impeded his plans. Initially, the Foundation requested he refrain from visiting, to allow Kiera to adjust, fearing his presence might exacerbate her emotional state. Moreover, logistical challenges loomed large. Reaching the Foundation involved significant expenses and logistical complexity. Adolfo's dedication to his profession as an animal trainer and his commitment to his business further complicated the prospect of a reunion. Throughout these trials, Kiera's memory endured within Adolfo's heart. Even as she seemingly forged ahead, he held onto the image of the majestic lioness with captivating golden eyes that had always conveyed a silent connection between them. After a considerable span of 7 years marked by separation, Adolfo finally found himself in the suitable position, both financially and in terms of time, to embark on a visit. Despite the passage of time, a potent blend of curiosity, longing, and the desire to witness Kiera's well-being compelled him. This juncture represented a poignant reunion, though marred by the uncertainty of whether their emotional bond had endured the test of time. Upon arriving at the sanctuary, anticipation permeated the atmosphere. The weight of 7 years apart hung in the air, accompanied by the inherent ambiguity of how this long-anticipated encounter would unfold. The enormity of Adolfo's journey was palpable. Every onlooker shared the hope that Kiera's response would provide a glimpse into the depths of her memory. Could the connection forged during her early days as an adoptive daughter withstand the chasm created by years of physical separation? Given Adolfo's professional expertise as an animal trainer, he obtained permission to enter Kiera's enclosure. Yet, this decision came tinged with an acknowledgement of the inherent peril. While granting the request, the Foundation staff made it unmistakably clear that he was proceeding at his own risk. The encounter posed a danger, as the years might have dissipated any trace of recognition or affection between them. As he approached Kiera, a tumultuous mixture of emotions surged within Adolfo. The trepidation was multifaceted. Would she recognize him as the man who had once held a special place in her life? Or had time wrought irrevocable change? The prospect of facing a negative response, fueled by feelings of abandonment, loomed just as heavily. What if her gaze, once warm and affectionate, now viewed him through a lens of unfamiliarity and threat? The weight of these questions hung in the air, and Adolfo stood on the precipice of discovering the truth of their enduring bond. Kiera had transformed significantly since Adolfo first knew her as a cuddly cub many years ago. Now an adult lioness, she belonged to a new tribe and had left behind the concept of caring for human parents. Adolfo entered her enclosure in a moment filled with uncertainty, and Kiera's behavior took an unusual turn. She paced restlessly, observing him intently until he called out her name. To his surprise, she halted and regarded him curiously. Despite the tension, Adolfo maintained his composure, seemingly unfazed. Expectedly, Kiera dashed towards him, effortlessly bringing the man to the ground. Spectators watched in astonishment, fearing a tragic outcome. However, a remarkable twist occurred. Kiera's actions weren't aggressive as they initially appeared. She was embracing Adolfo. The moment she laid eyes on him, she immediately recognized him. Her peculiar behavior wasn't that of an enraged lioness, but rather of an exuberant daughter thrilled to reunite with her old dad. Adolfo interpreted her affectionate actions as reminiscent of their playful interactions in the past. She wrapped her paws around his legs, nestled her head against his chest, and clung to him in astonishing sight. The Foundation staff watched in awe, with many experiencing emotional reactions. Despite her dangerous nature, This lioness still cherished him as much as he cherished her. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect was her reluctance to release him, employing her paws and legs to maintain a close embrace, hearkening back to when she was a small cub. Her actions underscored the validity of lions possessing enduring memories. Even after 7 long years, their love and connection endured. Kiera hadn't forgotten Adolfo, and her sheer delight at his visit was unmistakable. What do you think of this incredible story? Please share your thoughts and comments below. Thank you for watching, and see you in our next story.